welcome back. So we're going to start off with this kind of collection of glitters that I got from Peachy Olive Glitters. I kind of wanted to get a few different ones just to kind of show you some different cuts and different colors and different things that they have there, and just kind of show you how some bags are bigger and they're kind of changing things out. With some bags have the name on them and some bags don't. So anyways, she's actually going to different types of bags after this. But anyways, I kind of wanted to show you just kind of the process. I've made several videos like this of kind of fast paced, like showing kind of the glitters that I've got. But I wanted to kind of show y'all the process, right? So I'm going to show you different ways in which you can either print off, which I can have those put in my group, and so you can just print them off on some printer paper, or I mean not printer paper, but like the vinyl paper and that kind of thing. Or you can heat up the bags and take that sticker off of that bag. So either way, if you just don't want to be bothered with taking the sticker off of the bag, you can do that. You can just print those stickers off and do it that way. So I used to take that little sticker, that little round sticker there that says Elizabeth. I used to take that off and put it on the top of the thing, but on the top of the lid of the shaker. But now I have this printer, and it is this little portable type label maker thing, and you don't have to have any ink or anything. It's just like heat, and it just prints on there, and it's waterproof, and there's a million different kinds of I say a million, but you know what I'm saying. I'm exaggerating, but there's a bunch of text, the different types of fonts that you can use. And so I kind of picked this font because it kind of matches the font in which is used on those circles. And that's just me being OCD crazy weird. But anyways, so I have got these jars off of Uline. And so they come in these big packs where the jars come by themselves, and then you can pick either a red lid or a black lid. Now, when I first started buying these, it was like during COVID and craziness. And so anyways, they only had red. They only had like the certain type. So this isn't like the 100% best absolute, shaker you can get. But since I already started off getting these shakers, I just kind of went with it, right? Other than now I do buy the black lids instead of the red lids, but that's just personal preference. But that's only because now they're available and they weren't when I first started this. But I do like a lid that has kind of the bigger side where you can dump it out, or a shaker side. But I do like the shakers on these lids because they are a little bit larger, and I feel like they're the right kind of size too. Like the jars, they're 4-ounce jars, and you want to get a 4-ounce jar because this glitter may be 2 ounces, but it is definitely going to fill up a lot more because of the size and the shapes and the cuts and things. The really thick, the really chunky glitters are very fluffy, and they take up a lot of space. So the 4-ounce I have found is the best size. Even for the really chunky ones, I kind of have to like bang it down on the table and bang it down and bang it down and get it down so that I can put more and more in there. But for the most part, I can pretty much fit any one of the bags of glitter in this 2-ounce, this 4-ounce bottle. So, and most all glitters come in a 2-ounce bag, and believe me, it's plenty of glitter. I have never truly gone through one thing except one time when I used the whole jar and I mixed in some green because the logo had green in it or something like that, and I made like 12 cups. And so I did kind of go through the whole jar, but I just went ahead and bought a new jar so that it didn't have the green in it. But anyways, so in other words, I have not rarely ever gone through an actual full bottle of glitter. So if you're using a sheet to kind of capture whatever you pour onto your tumbler or whatever you're doing, whatever project you have, and pour it back in the jar, you're doing good. So while I'm doing all of this bottling, I'm just kind of talking about the different aspects of the, glitters and just why I chose this and that kind of thing. I do like the peachy olive glitters. They are really a higher quality glitter, and they just have such unique, beautiful mixes, and it's just I really find that I have much better quality of work done, I feel like, whenever I use their glitters. And the bags just allow you to have whatever system you want. If you want to keep them in the bags, fine. If you want to, get jars, you can get bigger jars, you can get, taller jars, you can do whatever you want. And then it can kind of be your own process, your own look, or your own, like if you only have a certain amount of room or a certain amount of, space or that kind of thing. It just allows you to kind of personalize, the glitter storage. So my friend at AB Design Co. Yeah, I think that's AB Design Co. I think is her name. Anyways, April, she is a longtime friend of mine, and she started doing this where she made these little circles of glitter. There are like epoxy, and she puts them on top of the jars. Now, I bought this pack of 4, like they're pop socket type things. Well, I bought 2 of them because I wanted to be able to. Now I do it when the glitter comes in. I do this immediately, and with the 4 glitters from the palette, or if I happen to buy 4 or 8 glitters or whatever, it just depends. But I bought 2 of them so that I could do them 2 at a time if I needed to. Plus, I was going to redo all of my bottles. And make them all the same with these circles on the top. So I kind of wanted to have a little bit more of a process, quicker, you know what I'm saying, with the 2. Anyways, these are pop socket molds that I got off of Amazon, and I'm sure they're available anywhere, but I did get them off of Amazon. So what I do here is I'm using some old epoxy. It's got color, because all I want to do is just get the idea of what these glitters look like in the epoxy, right? So, because there are times when you put something under epoxy and it's much darker, it's much more blue, it's much more purple, than you really realized. And so I use this old epoxy that I'm, trying to get rid of, and so it doesn't really actually cure all that well. It's kind of flimsy. It's still kind of, it never cures hard. Anyways, so I'm just like, well, I can use these to put on top of, some jars that are just going to sit on a shelf. Definitely don't want to use it for anything that I'm going to be selling or, producing or anything like that. But anyways, so what I do is I mix 25, like barely 25 milliliters of epoxy. Barely 25 will get you enough epoxy in every single one of these little things. I don't know if I mixed up the right amount or if I just accidentally poured too much in one of them. But anyways, I just took a little bit from each one and kind of filled that last one up. But anyways, so what I do is I spray some alcohol into the molds before I go in with the epoxy. Now that helps with bubbles. It helps get a real nice solid base. It helps with getting them out of the mold. And so, anyways, that's why I like to spray some alcohol. And I just kind of spray it till it fills up the bottom, and then I pour it in there. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking each one of these glitters and I'm making a nice little mound of glitter on top of each little circle. Now, instead of filling up and wasting each, like little medicine cups and that kind of thing, what I do is I just make the little mound on this little thing, and then I take my silver mixing stick here, and I just kind of slowly just kind of mix it. I just try not to make as big a mess as I try to make a less bigger mess. Anyways, so I just kind of mix it. And like I said, the idea here is that you are getting it under epoxy. Now, if you have this on top of those lids, which was another reason that I like these lids, is that they are one open, right? So they just open once, and then the shaker is in there. So you can put these on top of the lid, and then you have, you can still open that up and still get to the shaker. Or you can twist the lid off and it sits there and the thing's on top of it, and it doesn't fall off or anything like that. So this is what I've kind of, what I got from April. She was a really good idea, and I finally got to the point where when I became an affiliate with Peachy Olive and I started collecting a lot more of their glitters, I was like, you know what, I really want to get my wall of glitters that I have and fill it up and really have all of the glitters there under epoxy so that I can see what it's like, see what they look like, and just really get a feel for each and every glitter and, what it actually looks like under doing, what I'm normally doing, which is putting under epoxy or UV resin or that kind of thing. So I did that. I sprayed it with alcohol on top. I just sprayed a few times, and then that's it. And I'm not really too worried about bubbles or anything because it's just going to go on top of these lids. So what I'm doing here is I'm showing you some I'm doing like each level I have in a color, so I'm doing like green. I was doing my blacks and then blues and then purples, and then I'm to my greens kind of thing. And so what I do is I just, just kind of trim it off just a little bit because I just don't want a bunch of stuff like hanging off. I don't want it to look, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want it to look, crazy like trash or whatever. But anyways, this is how I do it. So I have these clear stickers that come with this printer, right? And so I just stick the name right on the clear sticker right on top of the little round disc of glitter there. Now, that is going to allow me to put them on the shelf and laying down so that the color of that disc, that epoxy disc with the glitter inside of it, is going to be showing. So I'm going to be able to see what color it is, see what it looks like, see the name, but it's not going to obscure it. There's not going to be like a white label that's going to be covering up some of that color, but I will still be able to pull it off and read it and see what color it is. So essentially what I'm doing here with these green glitters is what I'm going to do every time I get my palette or every time I get a pack of glitters of something that a collection that I have gotten or whatever. So this, I'm kind of backtracking here and going back and doing all of my glitters, but this is what I'm going to be doing going forward. So if this is something that you have not gone through yet and you've got them all in bags, or you just really haven't started that big glitter collection yet, this is something that you can look at and say, this is a cool idea. This is how I want to do this, or this makes sense for me, or whatever. And this printer, by this little label printer thing, by the way, I use it on the daily, like literally probably multiple times a day, if not at least once a day. I'm labeling something, I'm labeling jars, I'm labeling glitters, and I use it all over my house too. So anyways, this is what I'm doing for all of my glitters. I've gotten to like the last 2 rows, so I'm working diligently, doing 8 at a time. But then what I did was at first, the very first time I was doing this, I was using double-sided tape. Well, I don't think that it was thick enough in order to stick to the epoxy and then the lid. I don't know, maybe it like divots down just a little bit, or it has a little bit of flexibility, and so it just wasn't working. So I got these like little foam double-sided tapes. I got them at the Dollar Tree. I've had them forever. I'm sure you probably have something like this that you got at one point for whatever reason, but these work really good. I haven't, well, actually, what the funny thing was is I was coming in every morning and I was like, what are these on the floor? And I looked, and they're my little circles, and some of them were falling off from that double-sided tape. And so I was like, let me try something else. And so I kind of did a little research. I asked April what she does. She said she uses rolled up packing tape. And I was thinking, yeah, but I had already done the double-sided tape. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try these and see what happens. I haven't had one fall off yet with the foam double-sided tape. So this would be, I guess, my best solution. So I filmed this, just more for like a social media type, post. And I just kind of wanted to show the different colors and the different looks of the glitters and the different shapes and sizes and stuff like that. But I thought I would just include it in here because I just wanted to show y'all kind of what it looks like, right? So you're going to have all of these jars, and then you're going to have these little circles of glitter on top of it, and they're just going to lay on the shelf like this, right? But imagine this is, laying in a shelf, and you're going to be able to see all these glitters and see the names. So you can either go searching for the name, or you can go searching for that perfect glitter, that perfect color, that, what it's going to look like under epoxy and that kind of thing. So I debated on talking about this shelf that me and my husband made. It was extremely simple, and believe me, if me and my husband can do it on our kitchen counter, you can do it. The only thing that I had my brother-in-law do was cut the wood, because they were like 17 feet long or something like that, and the Lowe's didn't have their thing was down, the cutter thing. But you can have it done at Lowe's, and then all we did was screw the different shelves into the sides, and I just mounted it on the wall with some brackets. It's very lightweight. The wood is not too heavy, and then the glitter doesn't really weigh nothing really at all. And so I haven't had any problems, and I've had it up for about 2 years now. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. I really hope that this made a lot of sense to you and helped you in your idea of storing your glitters. Please like and subscribe and follow me on all my social media. And if you'll join my Facebook group, I can be a little bit more interactive in there, and you could ask me questions, or you can post if you do some of the things that I do, you can post in there, or please tag me if you put it on your Instagram or TikTok or whatever. But if you want me to go in a little bit more detail about this shelf that I built, I can do that, but it's probably going to take another video. I really wasn't going to be able to jam that all into here because I've already talked enough, and I know I can talk plenty. But anyways, I hope this was very helpful for you guys, and I will see you next time.